Ladies, gentlemen, let the show begin. Alright, do you like video games? And I know you do. What about entertainment? We got that to Video Game Armada, Video Game Armada. What's the name? Video Game Armada. This is the one drawing the gamer boss Bronze.
And the informational emperor True Backlash.
And the First Lady of Media, Blue.
Coming to you with another movie review. Yay!
Yay.
And today it's X-Men Apocalypse. So, the quick question, is it good? Will it blend? Well, the short answer is yes. How good? Amazingly so. I had my doubts. I really did. And I don't know why. Maybe it was because the early reviews from the critics maybe swayed me, and, I don't want X-Men to be bad because they were my super team before the Avengers and all that. But, one of my many contacts in the biz, he had the early screening, and he told me it was good and put my mind at ease. So all that was left is for me and my two best friends over here to watch it with it and see for ourselves how good it was. And thus we will pass it to the Backlash one, the master of the information. He's a mutant master as well. And tell us the story of the apocalypse.
Well, glad you asked. Well, for all those people who aren't comic book geeks or haven't watched X-Men cartoons over the years, you might be confused about Apocalypse. Believe me, let's start with his origins. You have to watch those shows, read those books to have a basic understanding of what's going on. But let's put it this way. He's an ancient mutant who has a lot of superpowers and a lot of abilities at his disposal. Stuff happened, kind of a spoiler, maybe not, but stuff happened, and he ended up being asleep for thousands of years. He wakes up in present day time, and by present day I mean the present of 1983. Pop music, take on me.
The best era for everything awesome, the 80s.
Dude! Alright, now, he wakes up. And the first thing he does, he starts collecting some of the most powerful mutants to be his four horsemen of the apocalypse. He starts to get the attention of Charles Xavier and his school, as well as that of Raven Darkholm, aka Mystique. They decide to band together to see what they can do to stop Apocalypse, as some members of mutants that you may know, like Storm and Angel and even Magneto, have all been corrupted by him.
Somehow, but we won't tell you how.
Yep.
So, let's move on with, we always change our styles here. But I am committed to have a solidified style here. So let's talk about, in general, the goods of the movie. And we're not going to stop until we rattled off everything we liked about the movie. In general, characters, costuming, and otherwise. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
And it's a round table, so there's not a specific order, but someone's got to start.
I don't mind starting.
Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
mind even if Backlash starts or Boss Braun starts or even Batman, but he's not here.
He is not here. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, this is a superhero movie, and he's usually here for those.
Yeah, he tries to pull one over on you all the time.
I know, right? It's like, good grief, that guy. He tries to usurp my show, but he's been MIA. He's the last time I got a note. He says he's working on a secret project of some sort. I don't believe it.
Probably out fighting crime.
Yeah, or maybe bothering some other internet celebrities.
I can't even imagine.
I hope so.
Locking people in closets and such.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in terms of this movie, X-Men: The Apocalypse, I actually thought there were just so many good. So I'll just begin with most of the acting. I mean, acting in and of itself, as acting's sake, could have always could have been better. But I think overall they did a pretty good job, considering they really were pretty busy doing so many other things other than acting. I like the idea that Professor, the whole youth-oriented casting. It is now not your mom and pop's X-Men. It's your X-Men. It's in the era that you now live in. Younger people, taking place when they were a lot younger. So the casting was younger, and I think it added to the flavor, and it only just whets your appetite for what's to come. I do like the choice of Storm, even though I don't think she had a great big contributing role, but there were so many people in the movie.
She was this movie's Hawkeye, a la the Avengers.
Yes.
She was there, but she wasn't like there. She was mostly working for evil. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
But that's not her problem. That's not her problem. And I know in the next movie she'll definitely get a lot more time.
I absolutely believe that, and I heard her actually speak as a actress. When it came down to getting this role, she was mad props for doing it. She wanted it. She couldn't wait to do it. She didn't care if she had to shave her beautiful locks to do it. It didn't matter. She was just elated to be a part of the franchise. Another hit that I liked was Olivia Munn. I thought she was surprising. I thought she was,
we here at the Video Game Armada have a love-hate relationship with Olivia Munn. She in turn, she is one of us, but she's also the bane of us. She does things that defy expectation, but also boggles the mind. In the case of this movie, I'll give her credit. She did very well as Psylocke.
Yeah, so I won't dwell on this too much since we're talking mainly about the movie, but when she was on G4, instead of being a hot chick that talked highly of games and gamers, she was the hot chick along with her more video game centric co-host Kevin Pereira, used to just beat down on everybody or just talk about sex and all that stuff.
Hot loose chick.
And then she went to the Daily Show and she wasn't funny. But
well, yeah, that actually would be like if she was ever funny, which I don't think she was.
But for those who don't know what G4 is, can you elaborate a little bit?
G4 was a wonderful network for video gamers, which is gone now.
A bygone, wonderful
and a bygone era.
Yeah. And Backlash keeps promising us if he makes those millions that he anticipates, he's going to bring G4 back.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it was Paul Allen, one of the Microsoft founders, one of the partners of Bill Gates, who actually bought into the franchise. I believe he purchased G4, or it evolved from ZDNet TV, and he also had that, plus he also had, Screen Agents, Tech TV, and those things, and then when he dissolved it, and then Comcast bought it.
Oh yeah,
changed everything, screwed it all up.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, it's not just the fact that G4 got eliminated, but Tech TV got eliminated.
Tech TV,
and I love both of those channels.
Portal,
it was like amazing.
All these really cool shows.
Screensavers, Call for Help.
Call for Help. I mean, these were some of the most awesome shows.
Blisters,
to watch.
Icon.
And they were really with talented people. And they were with some untalented people, i.e. Olivia Munn. But she's come a long way. She's decided to make her acting chops. And believe me, this was like 10 years ago, maybe even a little more. And she still looks pretty good. So I think she's worked
I will give her
overtime.
credit. She played the heck out of Psylocke.
I think she did too. And the cool thing about it is, I guess this is somewhat of a spoiler, but they make it look like she will definitely be back.
And you know what? This is kind of mean, but I think I'm going to say it. You know why she was very good with the role of Psylocke?
She could fill out her bikini.
Yes, actually, but not the real reason. Blue?
Because she is that way in real life.
Nope, but maybe that's racist. We don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, give up?
Yeah, I give up.
Backlash, you give up?
Yep.
The reason why she did so well as Psylocke is that the fact this is the least she's ever talked in anything she's ever done.
Yeah.
But that's true. She really didn't have a lot of talking.
She let her character do the speaking and not her mouth.
So I guess that's one of the goods of the movie then?
Yes. A very, very high up goods. Sorry, Olivia Munn. I have nothing against you personally, but your whole attitude towards everything I love is either weird
Yes.
Or downplay it to a point where it just makes like toilet humor.
Yeah, but the cool thing about it is, guys, if you're going just to see the hot chick, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. She
really
did the
does.
role very well, and
Did
that
the role very well.
it was good. It was to the good.
And you know what else I liked about
What
the
you-
movie? I think too, it's nice when you can see them trying to include X-Men. Like a lot of times, the X-Men franchise had gotten to the point it just included just a few people, and
Yeah.
that was kind of it. But now it like brought back the whole school thing. It brought back like a whole bunch of X-Men. They didn't have a big role, but they were there, and they lead you to believe that maybe they'll be back. I mean, we didn't even know Channing Tatum was in the movie. I mean, we sort
Well,
of knew, but we didn't know.
About that, he was supposed to be. There was supposed to be a cameo with him in it. They cut it out for time.
That was crazy.
It's Channing
they have
Tatum. If you have a Channing Tatum,
dude, I mean,
you use him.
Find Channing Tatum.
And he's
It's just
Gambit. Gambit.
And Gambit really is the one that I can't wait for him to get his own whole movie. I mean, singularly his own whole movie. I cannot wait because the brother is amazing. I mean, even if it wasn't Channing Tatum, just the brother Gambit is amazing if they just give him his due. And the fact that they attached this role to Channing Tatum could only be a plus. I can't wait for he to come back, have a stellar role. I'm glad Cyclops was back.
Oh yeah,
It really made
and
me
in real
angry.
form.
Yes, and it made me angry that I didn't get a chance to really like when they decided to just let him just disappear by the dock of the bay like Otis Redding. What was up with that? You know, but now they brought him back in this movie, and that was cool. And Havoc, we got a chance to see Havoc.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Well,
Yeah, his brother.
Honestly, for the first time, and I'll tell you, my secret shame is not watching X-Men First Class as a sort of protest to how the movie should have been. I'll watch it eventually because these two movies, Days of Futures Past and X-Men Apocalypse, convinced me to do it. But other than that, I gotta say, this is probably the closest to an X-Men movie I have ever seen in all the X-Men movies. Because X-Men 1, it was your obligatory starter, I'll give you credit. X-Men 2, centered around Wolverine. X-Men 3, it was all over the place. That was fairly close, but, you know, they made everyone look so bad in that movie in terms of the X-Men aside from Wolverine. And I still thought it was a good movie, but no one came off smelling like a rose. Wolverine movie 1, Wolverine movie 2.
Yes.
I mean, it got to
No,
the
it was Wolverine and crew.
and it got to the point where Stryker's Team X from X-Men Origins Wolverine felt more like the X-Men than the X-Men did. And again, I didn't see First Class. Days of Futures Past, that was pretty good too, but it was like all these mishmash of characters, both in the past and in the future, try to stop all this craziness from happening. And again, it's centered around Wolverine for a third of the movie.
It was like Wolverine and the X-Men, who weren't even there most of the
Yeah,
time.
and I hate to say it, maybe what this movie needed. And quasi spoiler, Wolverine has a cameo in this movie, but otherwise he doesn't play as much of a factor to the overall narrative of the story. Maybe all what we needed to get in an X-Men movie was less Wolverine, and I hate to say it.
Yeah, I believe you're right, because I've also heard that this is going to be his last appraisal of the role. I mean, the actor, Hugh Jackman.
I think he's
He
got one more movie
actually-
left.
You think?
Yeah.
I thought he was making this his last one, but it would be good if he comes back again. But, you know, just knowing him as the actor that he is an aging Wolverine among this arena of young X-Men. And it could be because in the plot of the story, maybe he's supposed to be like, you know, a block of time that's encapsulated and doesn't grow old, stays the same age all the time. Maybe that's how they're doing this, because he definitely has aged since his last X-Men role.
And, you know, with this cast of younger characters,
Yeah.
it's going to be like a real stark reality from the old, literally, versus the new.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
he just cannot do what he used to be able to do.
Yeah,
But he played his role very well.
He did.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
I mean, Hugh Jackman made a franchise, and I'll always be thankful for that because let's just get this out of the way. Even though they jobbed out Cyclops initially, James Marsden has a career in Hollywood because of these films. Hugh Jackman has a role in Hollywood because of these films. You know, it did well for those gentlemen, and it gave Femke Jensen a couple 15 minutes. It gave Halle Berry something to be
yeah.
notable for. Patrick Stewart had something to be notable for
There is
aside
no
from
doubt.
Star Trek. that's what that was then, and I want to see how they do this moving forward, because Deadpool was a winner, a bit curse-worthy, but it was a winner. It kind of made my boy Colossus look like a wuss, but the effects and his powers were amazing. And now you got this other X-Men movie. It felt like an X-Men movie. I can't wait to see the Gambit movie. I can't wait to see X-Force. I can't wait to see the sequel to this. We'll get to that. You know. So
but also, I think you're dead on, because I like the fact that they had that feel of like maybe some of the earlier cartoons, the X-Men cartoons. It kind of felt like
the true
that.
X-Men cartoons.
The true X-Men cartoons, where you literally felt like you were going home when you went to the school and you saw Xavier and he was like doing his thing as the role of the X-Men. I really enjoyed the fact that they made the transition of him being young dude with hair to explaining why now he has no hair.
Yeah,
and I thought that was pretty cool. And I love the fact that they had a great, in my mind, I mean, I know how people feel about CGI, but in my mind, I thought it was awesome.
Hey, you know what? If they hate CGI and watch Civil War, then guess what? They're liars and accept CGI as the new special effect to for all time. Because guess what? It's not going away.
No.
And it's only going to get better from here.
Yes, and I look at it like this: if you're going to see a movie like X-Men, be prepared to see CGI. What's the point? I mean, I don't want to go there and see somebody walk across the stage and pretend to fly. I don't want to see him letting some stuff come from his hands.
String or something.
Taking off his sunglasses and he makes noise and there's nothing there.
Yeah, the people who love practical effects, I know what their version of special effects are. It's just little colored balls they just throw and it's like fireball, 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 fireball.
Now, I mean, the practical effects came back for Wolverine's adamantium claws instead of CGI, which people apparently had a problem with. I barely noticed it.
What?
In X-Men Origins Wolverine, those are like prop effects for his claws.
I don't understand. What? Huh? I thought it was always like some sort of
the popping and out it was, but during those longer scenes, they glued them onto his hands for those.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have
a problem with it. I was just confused.
But I mean, you can't go into a movie where all these characters have superpowers or can fly and not expect to get CG. It's like shoot your laser beam, Scott, and it has this cardboard cutout
right. That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Cardboard cutout and it's only colored on one side.
Practical effect.
You can see the cardboard backing. I mean, come on now, really. I mean, I think too that people need to lighten up a little bit and just go and look to enjoy a movie. Don't look to go to pick it apart. Go to look to enjoy it. I mean, if you're going to pick anything apart, I can see you picking apart the storyline or something like that. But overall, just embrace it, because actually you get your money's worth. There's not a whole lot you could do for the price of a movie ticket.
And it's not people. It's the critics. Because that's especially.
Oh, so they are not human. They're inhuman.
Yeah, they're not even mutants. They're inhuman. They're an inhuman entity on the internet. That's why I do not have respect for a lot of critics, because that's what they are. They are critical. We are not critics, people. We are reviewers. We are full of experience, talent, and even-handedness. Critics are just waiting to rip something a new one just because.
And a lot of times
for no reason.
They say, they're, fortunate enough in many cases to be given the privilege to see these movies before the rest of the public. So a lot of times when they put pen to paper or keys to paper or, fingers to a keyboard, they're pumping on information with the impression to sway an audience to believe their view of a movie, which I think is a gross miscarriage of justice to the filmmakers and to the audience and to the actors, because a lot of times the things that they are looking at is a critical eye that a lot of people don't share the belief of. You go to a movie and you walk away and you're feeling like, wow, this is some movie, whereas some critic was half high and he showed up and he's like just trashed the whole thing.
Or worse, they showed up late. He had preconceptions of the movies that I hate X-Men.
Yes.
So he's going to hate X-Men just regardless, no matter what.
That's a good point, because there's a lot of people who are in the position of being critics. They go to movies that they typically would never go see if they weren't doing their jobs.
Exactly.
A lot of times they're going to a movie only because that's their job. They really like a drama. They don't like X-Men. They don't like, action movies, but they have to go to the movie. So consequently, that person's opinion isn't going to be the same value as a true fan's opinion is going to be.
It's just a paycheck to them.
It's just a paycheck to them.
Mm-hmm. And they said, if it's
correct.
just that, why not rip it a new one? I get more likes when I'm at my meanest. So I'll just rip this one unfairly a new one.
Yeah, well, you know what? The Beyonce might have the beehive, but the X-Men, they have a hive too. So don't mess with us.
I know, right?
Well, I got a question for you both. What did you think about the cast? Particularly, let's start with Apocalypse.
I thought he was well casted. I thought people...
Who played him, by the way?
Oscar Isaacs.
Ooh.
He's a newbie to the team, more or less. He's probably been acting for eons, but...
You showed me a picture of the guy, and it's very impressive with all that blue makeup.
Isn't it, though?
All right, so I might be a racist here, but is that guy Egyptian?
He's obviously not Egyptian. I don't even know if he's Arab or Muslim.
I'm not quite sure what he is, but he's definitely
just an actor.
Mediterranean looking.
But at least they got something pretty close to Egypt to play as Apocalypse.
Very
since
handsome.
he came from.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool. Don't get me wrong, not that I care about that sort of thing. I always have a rule. You get an actor who can play the role. But still, look at the extra effort, and he was very good. I'll tell you something. I love X-Men since the 90s. No. But when it comes to, and all the characters have characters, but when it comes to Apocalypse, I always saw him as big, imposing, evil, a force, but not so much of a character.
Yeah.
This movie gave me a bit of his character. He's definitely a bad guy.
And the eyes said a lot in this movie. You notice how many shots of the eyes you got?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of shots of his face when he was like feeling like he was like superior or you betrayed him.
Yeah, I know,
or there
right?
was some disdain.
A clear...
You saw that like, okay, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I will say this, that I think that Apocalypse is in fact a tragic character. If he was turned to the good side, he could have done a lot of good for a lot of people, but he unfortunately lost his way, and with his powers he thinks he's some akin to God, but he will fail every time.
He's Guatemalan.
I
knew that.
I did, so it's a fake nationality nonetheless, but I like the fact that he sounds a lot like the late Robert Cates, who did Apocalypse and the X-Men cartoon.
I am far beyond mutants as they are beyond you.
Yeah. Wow, this dude has had a lot of movie credits behind him too.
Yeah,
he was in Star Wars, The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I mean, he just started getting really big,
Right.
But I forgot. I think he was like a musician. So. I mean, he played a movie where he was a musician. That's where he really got noticed. But he had his moments where he sounded like Oscar Isaacs, trying to sound like a benevolent, evil jerk face, like per usual. But then there's times, especially with that voice changer, you could hear his trying to do his best impression of Robert Cates. It did help that they kept that effect. I mean, that was the only time I heard Apocalypse. Aside from X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and even then that was archival recording from the show, doing that voice with that inflection.
Right. He did a good job with that.
Oh, he did.
He did a really good job with that.
But Apocalypse, he was just one of many who did a very good.
Yes.
Because the young Professor Xavier, he was also very good.
That was the best time I seen. And again, I didn't see First Class. What of it? But that was
Blue,
the best.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I think that was James McAvoy.
Yeah, James McAvoy. That's the best I've seen him do as Charles.
I loved him.
And he wasn't like I run on TV tropes that in First Class he was kind of a mope then too, but it definitely in Days of Futures Past he was all mopey mope.
But I loved him. I thought.
Why was he a
great.
mope?
Because it's like, I ruined the future because my future self sucks, or I let Raven and Magnus down. No, Eric.
Well, in that movie, even Magneto was a mope.
Yeah, but and that's the thing about Magneto. This isn't a bad thing. This won't be part of my bads, but it's like they would leave my family in peace.
No.
Gee, that's what happened.
Spoiler. Go ahead.
All right, it's like gee, that's what happens. Well, when you're a wanted criminal, and they did. The town he was in, they weren't mad at him because he was a mutant. At least not overall. They're mad at him because he's a freaking criminal
And
it's
a terrorist.
And a terrorist. Gee, this is what happens when you lift a baseball stadium in New York and Washington freaking D.C.
And don't forget to hijack a bunch of robots.
Well, let me just ask you this, okay?
Yeah.
Here you got a guy who could lift a freaking baseball stadium and a whole bunch of other stuff, and they send, 10 men to come and get him? Really?
Well, I think it was just
Their
a
only
town.
defense
Well,
was that they weren't going to have metal.
It was some.
Okay.
It was in some sort of Kagvaka stand.
Yeah.
So they don't have the Avengers on speed.
Poland.
They don't have Avengers on speed.
I like the fact that
How they again? Spoiler.
I love
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Okay. How did they get his kid? By the way.
Oh
Yeah, without him knowing.
I know they must have been mutants because no way you're gonna grab a kid from their second story whatever house, drag her through the woods,
Right.
and to have this little showdown.
I know that was weird.
That
They
was
never
weird.
did address that.
Yeah,
They
no.
never did address that.
That whole standoff scene reminded me of this. It's a kind of an internet YouTube meme now where the Fantastic Four play Magneto, and I think he lost his powers. It's like Mr. Fantastic just quotes, "I tricked you, Magneto. This gun was made out of wood."
I know.
The whole time, Magneto was dumbfounded. Wood? And instead of starting throwing every metal thing in sight, it's his mind was broken. Wood?
I know, right?
And these cops had the right idea. They didn't bring their badges or their guns or their belt buckles to stop them. There was no. It was all wooden
What
stuff.
did they think was going to happen?
And
They were bow and arrows.
even if later on, Magneto was more adept that he could have been that never was let on. That's a true spoiler. I won't say that. The fact that he still had the advantage because there was still something for him to use.
Yes.
That
was played by who? Michael
Fassbender.
All right, now here's the trippy thing about this. Now the Magneto's kid in the movie, what was her name?
Nina.
So technically, what her powers were kind of witch-like, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you would think that maybe she could have possibly been the Scarlet Witch, right?
Well, yeah, but she's still got to float around. She's still around. Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, but I'm getting to that because it's a bit of a it's kind of a screw you because all right, so he gets it.
Well, they tried to cloud it because in TV tropes, the kid that Magneto has with Magda, that was the wife's name.
I know.
His name is Anya, so it's different. But I see what you're going with it. And Magneto has so many kids now. It's only supposed to be the two.
Going with it?
You have this one girl who could control these animals out of nowhere, now fully defined powers, and all of a sudden, she got caught in the crossfire of this incident that's supposed to be arresting Magneto. Now, you see...
What about the Scarlet Witch? What were her powers?
Well, her powers were, various. It's about as restrained as Superman or Apocalypse. Let's put it that way. But you have this girl, this Magneto's daughter. You know what happens in movies. Spoiler.
Right.
As opposed to, say, a son. You think back on Avengers. What happens? Avengers: Age of Ultron. What happens to Quicksilver?
Right.
Yeah. So while one property makes Quicksilver look like a king, the other one kills him off, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the reverse.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it makes it very confusing for the audience, truly.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for continuity, it's a little.
Well,
twisted.
that's their own fault. So, to recap,
Don't worry about spoilers. Just elaborate.
in Marvel's movie, they killed Quicksilver, a very popular character in the Fox X-Men movies. But in this movie, they killed off Scarlet Witch because as a retort to them killing off Quicksilver.
That makes more sense because I actually saw this as maybe this was a daughter that was after his first two kids were born, somewhere that the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were with their other mother, and this new kid was from this new mother, but apparently not, huh? That makes sense. That it would
like
be
Backlash says, Magneto's got a lot of kids. He gets around, but
so I mean, comic spoilers. One of the kids is Polaris, who also has magnetic powers.
Right, but if I was a betting man, Fox killed off the kid who could have been Scarlet Witch because Marvel killed off Quicksilver.
That's crazy.
That's my guess.
But it makes sense. They do that kind of thing. It's like,
put a hit on a fictional character.
Wow.
Well, I gotta say this. Are we still in the goods, or are we?
We're still
in the goods.
We're still in the goods.
I got one or two more things to mention. So
go ahead.
You still got goods?
Yeah, we're still got good. I think the cast as a whole, and I'll get to the chinks in the armor in a minute, did very, very well for an ensemble cast. It was kind of rushed together because you have all these new players in the game. There's some continuity because of the first class cast, but otherwise you just dumped the rest of these new actors into these roles. Like,
so what did you speaking of new actresses? What did you think about Jean Grey?
I thought she was good. I was bracing myself for disappointment because I hear she was played by Game of Thrones actors who didn't do well.
Oh wait, what?
You better get careful. Blue is a fan of the show.
I hear. But she...
Well, where?
People said she wasn't good at the role of Jean Grey. She was a little wooden in parts, but I think she nailed Jean Grey. Jean Grey isn't language slutty. She isn't snarky. She's kind of like Cyclops, a skosh boring, but mostly put together. And when she taps into that Phoenix Force, things seem to turn around. But she's responsible. She's kind. Like I said, a bit boring, nurturing. And that's straight-laced. That's how I always see Jean Grey.
And she's young.
Yes.
In this movie. And I looked at it, too, as her being in the character because she has so much uncertainty about her powers. She's trying to hold back in everything in life. Yeah. She's trying to hold back in her powers. She's not trying to let it all hang out and let it all loose. She's troubled, obviously, by these horrible dreams that she keeps having about different things. And she's always known what everybody's thinking.
Right.
So she says clearly that even everybody's always afraid of her. So if that doesn't make an introvert, I don't know what would.
Right.
But I thought her as an actor pulled that off pretty good. And I'm really proud of her because I kept looking for her last season. And
last movie?
No, last season.
Of Game of Thrones.
In Game of Thrones.
Oh.
I mean, she was there. She made her appearance, but she wasn't as prevalent as she had been in previous seasons. So I kept saying, I wonder if they're getting ready to do her in or what's the scoop. But I see that the reason for that is because she was busy making the movie. But Sansa Stark rose to the occasion, and she was Jean Grey to the max. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I found her, and again, this is the chauvinist pig in me. I found her kind of a plain Jane, but she definitely played her part very well in a non-attractive role type of way.
Okay.
But that's just me. Again, a chauvinist pig. Quicksilver, still the man.
Loved
Still the man.
Quicksilver, big hero moment. Won't spoil it, but
I ran so far away.
You know what, that actually played in the movie, but that wasn't the song that was playing when he was doing his thing. Sweet dreams are made of this.
The Eurythmics.
To disagree. Yeah, that was one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for something.
If you saw First Class, you'll know what we're talking about, kind of, sort of. It's a bit of spoiler, so we won't say. But dang, that was one of the best parts of the movie.
I loved it.
Quicksilver, man. He's always the best hero ever.
And he does his role well. He's fearless.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he has this whole trouble thing going on with parentage and all that. I loved it.
And honestly, this is my favorite version of Quicksilver because every time I see Quicksilver, the 90s cartoon, especially X-Men Evolution, especially Wolverine and the X-Men, and the Avengers Age of Ultron. He's always this arrogant little prick who's making fun of people. And this one's arrogant. He's kind of cocky, but he's friendly. He's nice.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not how the character's supposed to be in the comic. I get that. But this Quicksilver appealed himself to me. Most of the other Quicksilvers are prideful and arrogant. This one knows how his faults to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Plus he's a gamer. Plus he's not trying to be cool. He's just trying to be awesome.
And try to find out who his father is.
Right.
And trying to adjust to being a teenager. I mean, even he feels like his life was like not the way he wants it to be, he feels somewhat of a failure. I
Yeah.
mean, you got all these superpowers and you still seem like you're a failure.
Yeah, always
That's
late.
amazing. Always late.
late.
How amazing was that? You know who else I like?
Who'd you like?
I absolutely thought Nightcrawler was
He
amazing.
was good
yeah,
too.
he was
Yeah.
I thought he
perfect.
was really cool. I liked his
Perfect.
personality.
Let's just say all the characters were excellent.
They were all
I didn't.
excellent.
I didn't like.
Uh-oh.
Well,
I didn't dislike any of the characters. I'll be honest with you. Even though there was the one scene where, and it's early enough, but still, spoiler, where Angel somehow defeated the Blob. How did that happen? The Blob is a big, fat, almost indestructible guy. He doesn't bleed. His skin is like forever rubber.
Maybe you pushed him up against the electrified cage. Spoiler. You know.
Possibly.
I
But
don't
you
buy
know,
it.
he had all kinds of contusions on his body, so that kind of lends itself to like, well, something else happened.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought that everybody did a pretty good role, and I hear there's some dissidents coming
Yeah.
from.
Are you gonna save it for the bad?
Yeah, save it for a
All
bad.
right.
Now
And-
there is one more thing I want to say about the good, since it doesn't involve the cast. It's overall the scope of the plot in the movie, and the feeling of the I think the movie was loaded with all kinds of symbolic information, and I think that a lot of the things within the movie were leading itself clearly to good and evil. And I think the good and evil transcended some lines to leading you to like devil, death, and God.
I like the fact that Cage Match, the angel was the evil guy and the devil was not so evil. He was a good guy.
He was a good guy, just thrust in there. And
Yeah.
they're like, And I also like the fact that, throughout the movie, I continued to hear characters pray.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
and I love that. And, because even though you're looking at these, folks who are mutants that have incredible powers and do the incredible and the impossible, they knew that there was still yet a higher power, and they prayed to the higher power on more than one occasion.
Heck yeah.
Well,
And in the end of the movie, they were saying things. Our prayers were answered. Now, I thought that whole vibe. To me, it was amazing.
Well,
I loved it.
They know what's up.
They tried to be slick about it though. And back in the Apocalypse time, it's like ancient Egypt, BCE, like before current era instead
I
of
saw that.
instead of
I
BC.
saw that.
And then also, you bigged on what Apocalypse thinks he is.
Yes.
So I think they're trying to make a subjective PC point about it.
Well, I think they were trying to say that even in its own little way, I think that they were trying to insinuate that Apocalypse was around at the time God was around, because they made this statement. Apocalypse said that he was called Elohim. Elohim is actually a name that was given to Jesus in some cases.
Yeah.
So that was totally a misnomer. But I think he was trying to indicate that he being, because the devil was around,
Right.
we believe at the same time that all this was created. So I think there was some symbolism there. Some accuracies, maybe not so much. But some symbolism,
Heck
for
yeah.
sure.
For real.
But I think the end of the symbolism still pointed clearly good over evil, and God certainly more superior over the dark side.
As always.
As always.
All right. I feel like I'm leaving out so
Special
much.
effects, CG,
All of that's good.
Score.
I like the final fight was definitely worth the price of admission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't say. But honestly, of all these big bads in Marvel MCU and all the stuff that we've seen with Superman, I honestly thought this is the most well put together boss battle in a long time.
Is it better than the Civil War fight?
No, but it's
In-
not
in terms
bad.
of-
It's
in-
not worse.
In terms of fighting choreography, absolutely not. In terms of actual boss battles, I mean, in terms of like the emotion and like how do I stop this guy? This is impossible. Absolutely yes. Because come on, you know how to stop the main antagonist of that movie. I won't spoil who that was.
Right.
But in Civil War,
Yeah.
stopping Apocalypse was near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I have to agree with you because.
and that was the way it was supposed to be, because that's how it was written.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But with Civil War, their fights were great. They were well done and amazing. But at the end of the day, they were holding back because they weren't fighting "quote unquote" evil. They were fighting each
other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But the X-Men, they were fighting probably the embodiment of evil right now. And they said they would have to unleash it all, otherwise they were going to lose. And even then, after all of that, they may have still lost anyway if they didn't. Everybody's part was important in the final fight. Everyone had something to offer.
Yes, I agree. I couldn't agree with that more.
And that's why I believe I like the fight scene in this movie better than Civil War. But it was like a hair's breadth difference. But for me, the fact that there was so much to lose in the Apocalypse fight made it much better off than the Civil War fight. At the end of the Civil War, all it was just Captain America and Tony Stark having a falling out because all their feelings were hurt. and his parents died like 20 years ago.
Like you said, they had a vested
and they got tricked. And they got tricked.
Spoiler.
Yeah,
that's true too.
Yeah, but the people watching our aftermath of that, they probably know already.
Yeah,
but I won't tell you who the main villain is, which is still a pretty disappointment in Civil War anyway. And the fact they got tricked by this nub is just sad, sad. But there you go. I don't think I have any more goods. It's all of it's good, like all of it.
It's all good. And I got a lot of goods, but you gotta go see it.
Yeah.
Too many to mention.
Too many to mention.
All right. For my bads, honestly, this first one's a nitpick. But after seeing Hive on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., let's see, Damien Dark on Arrow, and knowing that Thanos is going to be here eventually,
Infinity War.
None of Apocalypse's schemes seemed original to me. Even the special effects that Apocalypse was like just mystifying and vaporizing people looked like Hive. And to be honest with you, I mean that kind of took a little bit of the gravitas away. Not a lot, but that's a nitpick. I still think Oscar Isaac killed it as Apocalypse. The main thing is Angel and Psylocke really didn't have much of a character. They pretty much changed. For anyone who knows Angel from the cartoon or the comics or even X-Men The Last Stand, imagine Angel. You know Angel. Everything about Angel was flipped on its head for this movie. And it's kind of jarring. And then Psylocke was kind of a last minute addition because Bryan Singer liked Olivia Munn cosplaying as Psylocke, so it could have explained this. But Psylocke, again, Psylocke didn't talk, which is a good thing. But that also means that Psylocke didn't do much aside from attack, and that's not the bad thing either. But I wish there was a little more for her. And at the end of the day, I feel that both Psylocke and Angel didn't get the right destiny. Let's put it that way.
Well, all I said, remember, Olivia Munn's best role is the role she doesn't talk that much. But I can get where you're coming from is that Psylocke does need a bit more of a background story. As for Angel, I think his destiny has been changed thanks to the Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Something might have happened to the timeline where instead of him being rich, he's now very poor and a pit fighter.
Yep.
And how he beat Blob with just 2 wings, I do not know.
Yes. And I also feel, too, that, along with the backstory piece about Psylocke, there's still a lot of newbies that don't know anything about the X-Men that are going to see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of the fact that we want to think that everybody that goes and sees these movies are, geeks and nerds and know all this stuff. There's an awful lot of people that see it advertised, look exciting, and they show up. And a lot of them are young that didn't live through all this. So a lot of them are going to go, and they're going to be left out of a lot because they don't know some of the backstories of some of these characters. So I think they sort of took, that was a missed opportunity as far as the bads. And I also want to say it really started off for more than the first 30%, 40% of the movie pretty slow. I think it was like really trying to establish itself.
Yeah, character building.
Yes, character building. But even while doing that, I mean, there were some powerful scenes where you can kind of like, gasp. But overall, I think it kind of still had like a slow feel, like while trying to have Apocalypse do whatever he was doing. It kind of came across kind of like, but that's a nitpick. It's not a big thing because I was still entertained by that. I was entertained. I wasn't lacking But a lot of these movies that we see come out of the gate just, so it was a bit of a moment where and fortunately for us, we were blessed. We got there before the movie even started.
I know.
And we saw
before the
everything.
crowd's getting all feisty.
Yeah.
This is the first day for it anyway.
And so we were blessed. And okay, this is not the hood.
Oh, that was a car backfire.
I hope so too.
A rocket.
Or something. But yeah, so the other nitpick that I had, even though it was very minor, again, these are nitpicks. These are not like really bad things. These are just nitpicks. Is that even though I really dug Apocalypse as a character, thought he was an excellent actor, I would have still liked to have seen him do a little bit more in terms of establishing his all-powerfulness. And I hope that's not a spoiler, because he did kind of cement the fact that he had these powers. But there were still some things that I would have liked to see him do just right out of the gate. Just
see, that's the thing about Apocalypse. He is powerful, but if you could define his power, you can't, because they only show you the barest minimum in it. Like even the X-Men cartoon.
That's why
he shot lasers, he could create force fields, he could grow big, and he could turn his hand into stuff. That's pretty much it. In this movie, it's pretty much the same thing. Force shields, like matter morphing, and teleportation.
Powers of people.
Yeah, that's pretty much Apocalypse in a nutshell. He is like the go-to guy for every mutant ability under the sun, but he doesn't overshow it because he doesn't want to seem like overpowered, because then no one's going to say, oh, no way Apocalypse could lose, he's got this power, that power, and this power.
And that power, and that power, and this power, and that power.
Exactly, because that's why
he wasn't supposed to be able to lose anyway. It was supposed to be one of their toughest battles.
It was like the most mulligan ever. It's like the main instigator of the Civil War. I hear stories about how he got lucky. Mm-hmm. Man, the X-Men really got lucky.
See, that's why I have to disagree, because this illustrates the point why the X-Men is the best team, because they are a team. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Even what you have.
Yeah, even Apocalypse, he's just one guy. He may think he's a god, but he's not a god. He's just one guy.
And he needed to rely on other people.
And at every single moment of the final scene, he was being taxed. Attacks to the left of him, attacks to the right, attacks through the center and sides.
That was all awesome.
Even attacks from unknown sources, which I won't say because there'll be a spoiler. All of those attacks broke down his defenses. Any one of those attackers by themselves
could not have done it.
Not even Charles Xavier.
Absolutely.
But they were. That's what I loved about that fight scene too, because they were fighting them in so many levels, even the physical and the mental. It was too much for him.
Absolutely, so many levels. I love that.
And it was a beautiful representation of how a superhero movie final fight should be.
Yeah.
So, do you think we're going to see another X-Men like this? I mean, a continuation?
I hope so, because
they are in a current, in video games, when you reach a certain level, you have something called a streak. This is the X-Men streak. The First Class, that's the one movie, and it was great and wonderful and just defied all expectation for X-Men sucking. Then there was Days of Future Past, which was also a great sequel and people loved it. And now this is also one of the best, if not the best in the current line of Bryan Singer, right?
Bryan Singer did this one specifically, yeah.
Bryan Singer movies? Or did
he did X-Men 1, X-Men 2, and
yeah.
Days of Future Past as well.
Okay. This is one of the best Bryan Singer X-Men movies to date. So, 3 movies, all good, very few flaws. I think they're going to keep this movie train going, because I'll tell you something for free. Marvel movies need competition. I love Marvel movies, but if you don't get proper motivations from other side of the firing line, you're going to get stagnant, and then sooner or later you're not going to be good because you have no one to make you good. X-Men movies from Fox will make them good.
Yeah, I would think that you're right, because just knowing that you have someone that's going to take your property, your franchise, and do a better you than you could do is going to make you try that much harder.
Exactly.
And there's a clear winner here. Guess who it is?
The viewers.
It's us!
Yes. See, I'm just waiting. I don't care. Guys, Marvel, Fox, make it happen. I want to see Avengers versus X-Men.
Bring VGA Armada. Bring VGA Armada to the studio.
Yeah, we will moderate. We will hammer out an agreement.
Give us a cameo. We'll stand there beside Stan Lee and Joanna.
That was one of the best Stan Lee cameos, by the way. It's just amazing. We can't say, well, you know what? There's no harm. It's a cameo. It basically it's Stan Lee looking up at spoiler, and this guy looking at it in total awe, and there's just this design in his glasses, just him looking like, oh. He didn't even need to say a word, where in the last one he said Tony stank, which was also pretty good.
Yeah, which was also very amazing.
Very amazing.
All right. I think I even though we're in the bads, I think I'm done with the goods.
Yeah, I'm done with the goods. I'm even done with the bads. Like I said, these bads I had were strictly nitpicks.
I don't have any bads except for when Juggernaut. Yeah. When Juggernaut.
Well, when Gambit.
He's getting his own movie.
He's getting his own movie. We're Juggernaut.
Is Gambit going to come on the stage?
Juggernaut is one of the most
XSL?
is the powerful enemies of all the X-Men, period. He's magical. He doesn't need to breathe or eat or get tired.
I think about Gambit kind of magical.
Yeah, magic.
Do I have to call bats on you?
No, don't call him.
I do have his number on speed dial.
Don't call him.
All right, so are you ready to rate this or what?
Yeah. Is that all you had for the bats?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Platinum Pass of Perfection. Go see this movie. Support good superhero movies.
It's clean.
It's clean.
Take the kids. Have some fun.
I suppose that was like the compromise. Make Deadpool as about as raunchy as an R-rated movie can allow.
Yes.
But in this movie, you said, all right, we got kids in here. Let's keep it civil, but still a little violent.
For sex scenes are really, really kid educational. And naked butt of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Don't stop bringing that up. I got that mental image again.
I know, right?
I don't need to see that.
I don't want that mental image.
And that's a shame.
But you're absolutely right. The movie was a good movie. Good costumes, believable. Have fun. Take your family. Go out and check out X-Men again.
Yes. You fall in love again for the first time.
Rating blue?
Huh? Rating Platinum Pass of Perfection.
All right. So, Deadpool opened up the door, to what the X-Men are going to be. And even though Deadpool might not feel like he could break the fourth wall under the X-Men's watching, he says, you know what, screw this. I have too much fun cursing and stuff. I like Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and I certainly am a big fan of Colossus, especially the way they done him. I'll miss Daniel Cudmore if he never comes back, but the way they have Colossus now is perfect. The way they're doing the X-Men is perfect.
Yeah.
Bring in more X-Men, bring in more X-Men characters that the fans know and love. You said there was going to be a Gambit cameo, you got scrapped. We want him in the X-Men. They tried to bring in Dazzler several times. There was even a scene in the mall.
And they brought Jubilee back.
Yeah,
from the dead.
I really like that.
She didn't use her powers at all.
No, but she at least was in the movie.
At least she's there.
And she talked. At least she talked. She wasn't a living prop in the first two X-Men, like the first two X-Men movies. But they tried to get Dazzler, bring back, and even they tried to do it with Taylor Swift. But even then, I will be glad to have Dazzler finally in an X-Men movie. Keep bringing the X-Men to the X-Men movies. And you got it. You show them through Deadpool just a little bit. And through this movie, what the X-Men can be. Keep doing it. Because finally, we got an X-Men movie. Platinum Pass with Perfection.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So, let's wrap it up. This is the Watch on the Gamer Boss Bro.
And the Informational Emperor True Backlash.
And the First Lady of Media Blue.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. It's subscribing time. That's right. This is the portion of the review that you subscribe immediately. And if you do, you win 10,000 Wolverines. They will trim your hedges. They will cut your grass. They make julienne fries like you wouldn't believe. What can you do with your 10,000 Wolverines? Subscribe to vgarmada.wordpress.com or to the Boss Bronze, all one word, on YouTube.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and don't forget, each Wolverine has her own adamantium feet and smokes their own cigars.
And don't forget about the VGA Armada magazine on Flipboard. It's got like a whole bunch of people that are just waiting for you to join them. And folks, when you go see the movie, stick around to the end. There is a spoiler.
There always is.
Always. Don't
Always.
forget it.
Oh,
Like us. Subscribe. Do it now.
X-Men.